Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Saba show, and it has become more alarming at the Everton Football Club. It's a very real possibility now. We're going down. Um, Lost 1-0 to Wolves. First half hour was somewhat promising, but the end product was pretty garbage as per usual. And ultimately, that's why we lost this 1-0. I feel like I say it in every episode. But every single week, we'll play a somewhat neutral 90. It'll be 50-50. And one lapse will mean that we'll basically lose out on all 3 points. I mean, today it was just one little lapse. There was no coverage in the box as a Wolves cross did not go unnoticed, and it went in the back of the net, basically. I just do not know how I can defend this team anymore. People who were saying it's Frank Lampard's fault, I said this last week and I'll say it again. He came into this mess. It is by far not his fault. The players, I mean, you see all these fans rock up week in, week out to try support the club. You get players like Anthony Gordon to go onto social media platforms and say, well, we're here for you, we're going to play for you, but then you go out and produce garbage like that. You know, can't really sugarcoat it any other way. I'm going to keep it very brief. As I said before, the end product is garbage. I don't know how we can have players like Richarlison up there, Damari Gray up there. You know, we've got like some quality, right? Or so-called quality. But every single time they get the ball in the penalty box, they are hopeless. Their touches are awful. They can't control it. It's ropes. And that's why we can't score goals. I fail to see when we're going to score another goal. No matter who the opposition is, because we're lacking that quality in the box. We're skying shots over the bar. We're just losing the ball. We're letting defenders basically cover very, very easily, and it's pretty much easy pickings for them on a regular basis. And then in the back line, I mean, the back line did a much better job. I don't think the Wolves even got a touch inside the penalty box for the first half hour of the game, but then you sensed a bit of a swing, and for the rest of the game, Wolves basically dictated possession, and that command of the game was theirs, which is something that obviously we desire given Frank Lampard's system, but unfortunately, we were deprived of that, and you know, some problems will come up if that is the case. So yeah, it's a huge problem. I don't really know what to say. Anthony Gordon was probably the standout performer for me. I mean, mind you, the standard wasn't very high, the bar wasn't very high, but he was whipping in crosses that were extremely dangerous, getting it into a dangerous spot. But once again, I will say that our end product, that final step, always seems to be a problem for us in this losing streak or very bad skid. And you know, there was nothing that could be done about it. But Anthony Gordon, I'll give him credit. He looked like he actually wanted to score goals. The rest of the team did not show that desire. Richarlison actually made some good runs. He was called offside about a dozen times or half a dozen times. It felt like a dozen times. But, you know, he had a bit of intent there as well. I'll give him that, but he also went, the few opportunities he had, he didn't really threaten the goalkeeper too much. And ultimately, you can only say so many things about the defense, but in the grand scheme, you need to score goals as well. That defense is, you know, even if it lets one in, which, I mean, for Everton standards, I'd actually consider a good return. You concede one, you need to score at least two if you want to win a game of football. And we don't even look like scoring one. There's no threat out there. DCL was out. I don't know where he is. People were saying Anthony Gordon should be dropped. And I think if you look at stats, you'll see that Anthony Gordon lost the ball a lot. But I think that says something else. That says to me that he was willing to take risks. Even if it was a bit irrational, he was willing to take the risk because no one else was willing to do the job. That's what I see it as. And people are saying, well, yeah, he let us down because he lost the ball this many times. He was just being a bit careless with it. basically running into, you know, contested play very blindly, but I do not see it like that. I see that as a guy with desire. I see that as a guy who's playing with heart, and unfortunately, that doesn't translate to the rest of the team. So, you know, you can't really see this team performing, ever winning a game, because obviously you can't just depend on one player, and that's a 21-year-old player. We are criticizing a 21-year-old because he was trying to do shit that no one else was willing to achieve. But it's absolutely crazy to me that we give him that much responsibility. As it's been flagged in the media, these two games against Wolves and Newcastle are two very big games. Wolves, I guess we could have seen it as an opportunity because they aren't a big goal scoring team, and I mean that showed today. They had one chance today and they capitalized on it. But unfortunately, we couldn't rack up the goals because their defense is very compact. It's been very solid. It's probably one of the best in the league. So these 1-0 wins for Wolves aren't really a rare feat, but that's why we probably should have seen it as an opportunity to capitalize on them not being a big goal-scoring team. But obviously, offense has been pretty hard to come by. And then you look at the upcoming fixture against Newcastle, who I believe lost for the first time in the calendar year against Chelsea, and they put up a damn good fight. Basically, well, last time we played them, 3-1 loss. We basically got walloped, taught a lesson, and I think the same thing's going to happen again. I mean, I don't see things changing unless you do a full renovation of the club in terms of get rid of all the dead weight as in, you know, experienced players that have a lot of experience under their belt, and give the younger players some opportunity, because as we saw against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, you played all these young players and they have shown, or they showed in that game, heart that we haven't seen pretty much all season long. So I think that's a last resort for Lampard. As I said, I don't blame him for this mess that he's come into. The team is playing like a championship side, and that is why they are at the bottom of the table. That is why they have lost 16 of their last 21 games. That's terribly difficult to, you know, inherit a football club that is offering you that garbage and delivering results like that on a weekly basis. So I don't blame Lampard at all. It's all on the players for me. Share your thoughts in the comments. Drop a like and subscribe to the show. We are doing weekly fan reactions. I can't imagine the next fan reaction I do, it will be any different to what we are saying today. But, you know, I think for everyone's sake, let's hope that it is something different. But I'm not too positive. Anyway, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.